Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of the Sport Shots Pod. 4 straight weeks in a row now, episode 26. All the month of April of weekly pods, we spoil you guys. You guys should be grateful. You should leave comments, leave likes, and tell us how terrible we are as podcasters. But anyway, welcome back.
Anything that drives conversation. We'll just
just talk to me. Tell me I'm ugly. You can't even see me. Just tell me my voice is ugly. Tell me I sound ugly.
Telling you that every day is not enough?
No, listen. There's nothing you told me that I didn't tell myself in the mirror already. All right, buddy. I'm my biggest critic.
So I'm gonna have to get more creative about saying that you're fat. So let me see.
I stepped on the scale today. Yesterday, I was so disappointed. I went for a 2-mile run right after that with my family. I put on my crew neck sweater, made sure I sweat, dude. Oh my! I ate a salad for lunch today.
Man, so I was at the gym and it's with my membership. I'm going through like some, the weight training. Well, not really weight training program, but kind of like health monitor and shit and all that. So they did a full body measurement on me, right? Well, you just put your hand on the machine while it takes your weight, and then apparently it gets everything else.
Yeah, it tells you your waist size, cheek size, penis size, everything.
All that good stuff.
Everything. Yep.
So, you said you were disappointed when you stepped on the scale. Dude, when I got my numbers back, 8% body fat.
Oh my god, get the fuck out of here, dude. 8%? What are you doing?
8% fucking lean up in this bitch, man.
I'm for sure over 20.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that.
Neither do
I.
But
see, that's what happens when you are consistently in the gym.
Yes, that's with me. I was just inconsistent. I haven't. That's why I told you earlier before we hit record that I'm thinking about buying like a home gym. I don't think I am gonna buy a home gym. I'm just waiting till my sister cleans out her garage. I'm gonna put a power rack in there, more dumbbells, bench, of course.
And then we're gonna set maxes for ourselves.
Oh, for sure.
You already got to catch up to 300 because I already hit that shit.
Nah, yeah. And the most I ever hit was 285 in college. That was it.
Get your weight up, man.
I know.
Anyways.
But I hit 455 on squat though. I got tree trunks for legs.
Okay, well, you're not 6'5" with stretched out ligaments in your knees where cracks.
But you didn't use that excuse for bench, huh? Don't use that excuse for legs. You're not gonna use it for arms, right? don't you do that.
I didn't say I didn't squat. I just said I ain't about to be like fucking Hercules.
Yeah, all my power's in my legs. So, but anyway, how about we talk about what we're drinking today, huh? How about we start there? I'm going to open a nice, crisp, cold cerveza. That's what I'm drinking. Straight out of the bottle. Bottled beer tastes better than canned beer, right? I mean, that's like a given.
First of all, you are extremely rednecking it if you're drinking canned beer. And I mean them rednecks in them backwoods in Arkansas and East Texas.
What if you're drinking... What if you're drinking? Oh my god, my sisters, dude, love Natty Light. Every weekend I see them with a tall boy Natty Light, and it's like, godly, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, well, it sure fits.
It's not me. I'm drinking Corona Premier. I'm staying to my roots. That's what I'm doing. Even though I don't speak Spanish, I'm a fake. I'm a fraud.
You are.
I'm a fraud.
That is disappointing. Like if I have to translate, I can't even call you. Although I did one time when I was still in DC. You were able to talk those for me.
Yeah, I was able to translate. It wasn't that bad. I have broken Spanish. That's what I have.
Just enough.
What are you drinking? Food. Exactly. Yeah, just for my fat ass to eat. What is that? That was actually his leg. He didn't drop a no, I'm just kidding. What kind of whiskey is that?
I could have spun off of that, but I'm gonna keep it PG.
We're not a PG podcast. I kind of laid it up for you.
Come on, we are a PG podcast.
We're not a PG podcast,
and I totally respect that dare lion from school because I follow every rule that he. Hold on.
He's lining up blunt as he's The podcast just got banned in Texas. That's what happened.
Did you have to do that program too?
What program?
That Dare Lion? Dare.
Oh, of course. You know, my father was actually he was actually a Dare cop. He actually went to elementary schools. I have a funny story. Right. So Dare is an acronym for something, right? And my dad would quiz elementary kids after each presentation, right? What is the D? What is the A? What is the R? What is the E? Right? So he got to the R, right? And he's like, okay, what does the R stand for in Dare? And this little girl raised up her hand, and so he pointed her, chose her to come up and tell him the answer. She doesn't say it on the microphone, so no one knows, right? So she comes up to him. He bends down. She comes up to him and then whispers, "Rabbit." So then he pauses and he like holds his laugh, right? And then so he feels bad, so he gives her like a pencil. Gives her a pencil, and she goes sits down.
Kids
It
was
funny, man. It was funny. But you haven't even said what you're drinking yet, man. We're 6 minutes in. You still haven't said what you're drinking.
Yeah, I'm drinking this good ass shit. This good ass whiskey that I started last week. That from this Panther Distillery up here in Minnesota, apparently. Man, reach out to me. Let me get a free bottle. This shit is good.
Kyle will do anything for money.
I'm trying to do anything. Yes, I know.
He would add it to his cereal if you pay him to.
Has that been done before?
I don't know, but it can be.
Oh.
It can be.
I just saw a sick ass goal. That goal, I don't know what the hell you looking at. It was like literally right to your right. There's been a great weekend of hockey this weekend. Before we get into everything else that's on our list, the one thing that's not on, because I know we're judging by our audience, we're going to go where the numbers are. I just want to point out that there's been a lot of good games this weekend. Particularly, I'm paying attention to Washington and Montreal. And there has damn near been a fight in every game. And, I think the past two games, prior to last night, the past two games went into overtime, I believe. And there's been a lot of overtime games, too, this series. In every series, apparently. But the only thing I got to say, because Washington's going to end up closing that out, I believe, tomorrow night. If I'm ever going into battle, I'm taking fucking Tom Wilson with me. Isaiah, I want you to go and look up the hit that he put on that poor kid from Montreal. I think they say he's only 19. He's a rookie. This dude got laid the fuck out. And they got scored on right afterwards.
I'm going to actually share it for our people here. Boom. Here we go. Kyle, can you see it? If you see it, they see it. Now, I don't think it has audio. But let's see. Oh my gosh. Ray Lewis out of nowhere. Godly. Oh my gosh. They took the camera off him immediately. I think he's dead. I think they're performing medical CPR on him right now. And they scored. Show the dead guy. Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, kind of took him a while to get back up. Damn. All right.
Yeah, I wish that hit took place at home, at their home arena, because I just wanted to hear how the crowd would have reacted to that shit.
Well, even his own home fan base were just a roar of "oh!"
I mean, dude, you just saw it. He got laid the fuck out. There's no other way to put it,
dude. That's gonna go on the biggest hits in NHL highlights on the YouTube video for sure.
You remember on Monday Night Football, ESPN used to do Jacked Up.
Yes, they didn't bring. They bring this stuff back. Now they do on Infinite Arc, they do like
I forget what they do.
something about running, like running backs running the ball or something like that.
Yeah, I forget what it is.
Yeah.
Jacked Up was my favorite.
Oh yeah. You got Moss was pretty good too. The more recent ones.
Yeah.
But lately they've gone to like hard runners or something like that. Someone could correct me. But yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah.
let's move on to our dialogue, Kyle. Now, NBA playoffs is heating up.
And I tell you who's heated right now, and that's if you live in Detroit. Dude, first of all, if you're a Knicks fan, I hope he got out of there alive. If you're a referee, I hope he got out of there alive. Because they don't play up in the D. They got screwed out of that last second. I thought it was a foul when I saw it live, when I saw that shit happen. But then when they showed the replay, I'm like, oh, come on, man. He straight up bumped into him.
Yeah. I didn't see it live. I was very busy this weekend doing Mexican things. My yard, doing yard work, right? But I was watching highlights, and yeah, very controversial. That's, you almost wish, like, talking baseball wise, I wish they would practice robo umps in playoffs. All right.
Yeah, they just do what the NFL does, or no. Well, yeah, do what the NFL does. Have a centralized replay center. Go there for every, critical replay. Soccer has this thing where they have like a completely outside body replay crew where they go to, and they're completely
it's called
neutral.
They do like the whole box thing. It's called VAR.
Yeah. That. So like they something because we can't keep dealing with in the NBA. Immediately after the game or the next game, hearing the referee say, like, what's his name from Hangover? We fucked up. Like, you can't hear that shit, man. We cannot hear that shit in these games, man.
Especially after the game. MLB umps robbed a perfect game one time for the Tigers.
Don't get me started. I was man. I still remember the night when I was watching that shit.
Damn.
Because it was when I was heavy into my ESPN phase, where that's all I was watching every day. I was at least 12 or 13 when that happened, and dog, it's like how could you? I think it was that play that probably honestly told MLB, yeah, we need to get fucking replay into this shit. Because not long after, it was instant replay. They did that.
Yeah.
I mean, it had to be, and I hated that it had to be him. He had to be made an example out of as to why MLB needed an instant replay. And I specifically chose the words "be made an example of," which we'll get into that topic later. That was really. I mean, he obviously admitted his mistake, and I mean, shit. If you remember the next game, the next day, where they exchanged lineup cards, like the he was like fighting back tears and shit because he knew he fucked up. Like, you fucked up a perfect game. The last out.
That's tough.
It's rarity in baseball, just like a 4-homer game that we just had, which is actually rarer than a perfect game. I didn't even know. I knew it was rare. I didn't know it was that rare that we haven't had that many 4-homer games.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to Geno Suarez, except when he plays the Astros. When he was on the Mariners, he was kind of a bitch.
But going back to that Pistons Knicks game, that really sucks because that goes from 3-1 to 2-2.
Yeah.
Right? That's a big difference in basketball. Huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Knicks have a chance to close it out at home.
Oh, they'll close it
tomorrow.
They'll close it
out. They're gonna complete the gentleman's sweep.
Speaking of sweeps, well, I don't want to skip over to this next point. It's the complete opposite of a sweep. It's going to go to 7 games. That Clipper Nugget series, bro. Talk about submitting that assignment in at 11:59 p.m. when Aaron Gordon dunked it in at the buzzer.
dude. I don't think this game was...
Who you think is taking that series?
Nuggets. I think the Nuggets take it in 6. I think they win these next 2. In my opinion. Does it go to Game 7? I don't know. I just think Denver's more experienced, obviously.
Look, the NBA needs an LA team to go to 7 games. If it ain't gonna be the Lakers, they'll suck it up with the Clippers.
That's true.
It ain't gonna be the Lakers. They get a close out.
Yeah.
Ant-Man on something else, man.
Oh, dude. Ant-Man is the controversial face of the NBA. Right?
I mean,
I know. I know we're skipping a few bullet points here, but we'll go back. But man, he's legit. Now we all see why he got chosen first over LaMelo Ball. You know,
he is MJ's kid. Did they just score again? The Lightning just scored 2 goals in like a span of a minute.
Look at them go
to take the lead.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the whole like controversy thing where he's like, you know, he has MJ's DNA or something. Like he's one of MJ's kids.
Yeah, he's MJ's son. Yeah.
Listen,
keep spreading that.
He's got the meter. He's got, and you know, like MJ, like he doesn't know, like I think that Edwards know, like MJ, Anthony Edwards pays his child support in full. He don't want no relationship with a daughter.
Man, look, I don't want to be politically correct, but there's some niggatry that's in me, right? I mean,
you know what's crazy? I think I read an article that she didn't like that she got paid on full. Because she already spent like almost $100,000.
So he already paid her?
He paid the full 18 years already. All at once. Over $1 million.
Judge allowed that? I thought it was
I'm pretty sure it's what happened. No, I thought that's what happened. I'm pretty sure that she came out and said that. Now, if I'm spreading misinformation, don't listen to me. I could be spreading misinformation.
Yeah, but I mean, first of all, anything that we say can't...
is theoretical.
Exactly. It's all theoretical. We ain't represented by nobody. We just talking shit.
We have our own opinions too. It's not affiliated with anything.
Partially drunk and
stoned. We are under the influence. All right.
Completely under the influence. So anything that's taken seriously, that's your own fault.
Exactly.
So I ain't. You can go ahead and present some papers to me. I would just respond back to you on that summit, just saying LOL.
Lol.
Like shit. Like where you think I got 2.3 million or however much you want to sue from? Where you think that's gonna come from? Shit.
Mm-hmm. Talk to him.
Better throw that shit out. Anyways, yeah. And so that's the problem. That's the only reason why I didn't think that a judge would actually let that shit happen was because there's dudes with bread, man. And if they got the money to pay it up front, they will do it.
Yeah, it's a good thing he got that done now before his max contract, whenever he gets it.
It's kind of like, did you see where the Heat gave Eric?
Yeah, the coach. Yeah, they waited for his divorce to be filed or finished, and then they gave him the contract. That's called loyalty, man. That's having.
Yeah. Well, shit, he's been there for a minute.
Yeah, that's because they wanted him gone. The parents wanted him gone too, which was crazy.
That's crazy, man. But it's like shit. Ant was like, "Look, man, let me get this shit out the way." Even more so, it was that what I did hear was that he was trying to get it in Georgia because, I mean, come on, obviously, child support is going to be cheaper there than California. So,
no, for sure.
But yeah, and that's why the NBA don't want him the face of the league. But I'm sorry, NBA, he is the face of the league because whether or not y'all want to admit it, every nigga is behind him. Everyone.
Even non.
Shit, man. Like, he is that dude that came straight from the streets, and he's just a hooper. That's what he is. And he ain't going to go for that corporate shit that y'all trying to pull. He ain't going to be... And the NBA got in trouble behind that China shit, when everyone was doing that about face, when, like, LeBron and James Harden was speaking all kindly about China... Man, Ant's gonna be like, man, fuck him. Straight up.
That's what he
Ant's
is.
He's gonna straight up say fuck him and not give a damn. And that's why we like them.
Dude, I should have bought more Ant rookie cards. People were so high on LaMelo Ball when their rookie cards came out. I just I want an Ant. And I bought a few Ants. I already sold them, but it's just, yeah.
They happy for him up here, though. I tell you, shit, they ready to close him out.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to Milwaukee.
Hold on. I got something for him. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. I'm gonna look for it. I should have had that queued up and ready to go.
Nah, you're
Just
good.
give me a second. Just as this is live while I pull this up. I'm gonna just play a sound for him, just to.
Is it related to Damian Lillard or just the team in general?
Hopefully, we can hear it.
All right, cut it. Yeah,
here lies all the hopes and dreams of Bucks fans everywhere, because that's a wrap.
Yeah,
that run is over. Giannis, if they're smart, trade him.
Dang.
Get the assets right now. Get the assets right now.
I hate to say it, but you're right.
While the iron is still hot. The downfall started when they let go of Drew Holiday, and then they let go of Chris Middleton. And then you're trying to replace it with, whatever is left that Damian Lillard can give you, which is something, but you're not providing much help still with Giannis up there. They didn't really do a lot to build that team up. And then they have no draft picks, and they're in a very terrible cap space right now. They're in hell. They're going to the NBA doldrums.
This goes into like kind of topic that we talked about earlier today, and this topic will segue us to the next series. But teams need to stop trying to trade for already established vets and thinking that's what they need to win the championships. That's not what's winning championships. Kyle, when's the last time an old veteran team won the finals?
Spurs.
Yeah, it's been that long. It's been a while. You got OKC, younger team. Tatum is still only like 27 or something.
I think you're older than Tatum.
I think I am older than Tatum. You got who was the Cavaliers, young team. Magic, young team. No established NFL
Rockets.
veteran team, like example Phoenix, is going to win. It's
Remember
this
when Brooklyn tried to assemble Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and who else they had on there? But you remember they gave up everything to Boston, which gave them. I'm sure those draft picks is what turned into Tatum and Brown. Mm-hmm. But when Brooklyn pretty much sold their soul for the carcass of Kevin Garnett.
Exactly. This day and age NBA needs to realize that adding Kevin Durant to your team doesn't make you an NBA Finals team.
Which is an early segue, but the Rockets, they need to call Phoenix, but I hope you call for the right one. And I'm sorry, it can't be KD. I'm not about to. You can't give up assets for 1 or 2 years left on a guy that already. Especially not him. You know who the fuck I'm talking about.
D-Book.
That guy. Yes. The one that's brighter than me. Yes. Get him to Houston.
Get that white chocolate caramel to the big state of Texas.
Yeah. And just finishing up with Milwaukee. Go ahead and book it. 2071. They're the NBA champions because it seems like they're going to do it every 50 years. 2070. I hope they enjoyed their title that they got 4 years ago, because that's it. That's it for a while. It's hard.
I think so.
They should know. It's hard to get up there to the top in the NBA. And you're a small market team, and y'all climb to the top.
I'm going to say it. I think in the next 4... I'm not saying next 4 years. I think the Spurs get a championship before the Bucks. next one.
Oh, of course they will. Of course, the Spurs, they're like maybe one or two players and Wemby fully developing away from
Dude, Wemby fully developed is scary. Scary. He was gonna win Defensive Player of the Year without a doubt, and he got hurt.
Yes, he already won. He already won the shit. He's not even at his full body weight. He's still growing. He's already tall. Now he's gonna fill out. He needs to in order to stay.
He's doing the Giannis and Joel Embiid path where they come in skinny.
About 5 years. I give the Spurs about 5 years.
That's fair.
That's why I want the Rockets to hurry up and get one before.
Yeah,
I'm not about to go another 15 years of a Spurs dynasty while I'm sitting down in Houston just watching y'all win championship after championship after championship, and we keep falling short every fucking year. We keep coming up across some dynasty, whether it be the Lakers or the Warriors, which they need to win tonight.
Exactly. And 5 years from now, Wemby will still only be 26.
Stop.
That's the crazy part. And what's crazy is the Spurs are going to draft Cooper Flag too this year. Wow. No, I'm just kidding.
I think he already. Damn, this fucking chair. I think they already have a. He already got his little townhouse set up on one of them single letter streets in DC.
Yeah. Yeah, that's honestly probably where he's going to go.
But the Rockets, y'all need to get on the phone with Phoenix. Just ask them what y'all want for D-Book, and his name cannot start with A, and his jersey number is 1. It can't be him. I'll give you Jalen Green before I give you.
Really?
Thompson. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I thought the first when you said A, I thought you were talking about Şengün.
Oh no, he's untouchable too. No.
Yeah. I just thought, but
no.
You will give up Thompson.
I will give up. I will
Green.
give up Green before I give up Thompson.
Wow. I mean, I could see why, but just to me, I haven't seen every single game like you or like a lot of games.
Realistically, is gonna have to be because they're gonna want some. They're gonna want some of our young talent. They're not gonna want Fred or Dylan. They're gonna want some of them young cats that we got.
Yeah.
May have to give up Cam. They have to give up Cam or Reed. One of them gonna have to go. That's gonna hurt, and it's gonna be. And the Rockets will be stupid if they do it because I still think you can hold on to Jabari. Because he's interchangeable between the 4 and the 5, depending on what lineup you're running out there.
Yeah.
They're going to give up Jabari, either Cam or Reed, and a lot of draft picks.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt. And if we do that shit, we better fucking win, man.
If y'all do that, you better win in 2 years.
1!
Or that's what I'm saying. Like, max 2 years.
Dude, they're gonna do something.
I think
they are.
Even if
going
you
to be a blockbuster move, and it's going to be with them.
Even if you get D-Book, I don't think it puts you better than the Thunder.
Crazy? What if we do offer Cam and Jabari, and they come back and say that ain't enough?
That's crazy. That's because no, they have to take it. What else do they have?
Not touching Tari. Not touching him. Honestly, okay, if you ask me who I'd rather keep, Cam or Reed?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, send the white boy.
Damn.
Hey, Felix, you want another Steve Nash?
Yep. He fits the job description in Phoenix. We need Houston needs a guy that's gonna get in trouble at a strip club. That's who.
That's Cam Whitmore.
There you go. Cam Whitmore. Get it done.
The dude that's gonna hoop and get in trouble at a strip club. That's him.
And Houston, all we want is 1.5%. That's it. That's all we want.
I already made the trade right here. Phoenix, if Phoenix, y'all want more, y'all stupid. Sorry, y'all stupid.
All right.
I have to call my. Are y'all gonna give up? Y'all gonna give up Fox? Or y'all keeping him?
No, we're keeping Fox.
Okay.
We're keeping him.
I actually wanted him before they traded him to the Spurs. I'm like, why the fuck would you?
I love Fox. It sucks that Wemby went down as soon as Fox. Not as soon, but like right after Fox came here. But we're just missing, like you said, 1 or 2 more players. I think we're just missing a 3. And if we get a 3, I think it's playoff contention for sure. So
I want Booker, but I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up so much just to get him. I don't.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's going to be cheaper to get Durant than it is to get Booker.
Yeah, but I feel like wherever Durant goes, he's one of the like main key pieces where he goes, and that kind of hurts him. You know. Like, I feel like nowadays, after the Warriors, wherever Durant goes, you got to build around him, where you should be building around the young talent.
The problem is that especially if we get Durant, you stick him in our lineup. I don't know if I'm gonna trust Jalen to be the point, because he needs to get his own shot. He can't facilitate and set up others.
No, that's why you got Fred. Fred at the point.
Man, all them bricks he throwing up. That's
why he needs to know.
That's why I want Booker. Like,
I get you.
I mean, Fred. The only reason why Fred is there is to guide the whole offense. It's more of that than his shooting.
It is, yeah. Nowadays,
I wasn't even impressed with his shooting even when he was up in Toronto.
Does have a NBA Finals, maybe because of Kawhi, but
a lot of it because of Kawhi.
That's why, yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but yeah.
You want to?
I'm done.
Move on to the draft.
Yeah, let's get into this shit.
Now, something obviously big happened. Recording this after the draft. One of the most exciting things in the NFL when it comes to off season. Probably the only exciting thing that comes to the NFL. A little bit of free agency, but this one takes the cake.
Can I say something real quick with the draft?
Go ahead.
NFL mission accomplished. Y'all were looking for a way to keep people watching past the first round. Psh, you knocked it out the park.
They did.
Them ratings. This got to be the highest watched draft of all time.
Did you see how many people were in attendance there?
It's more than the population of Green Bay. I know that.
Over 250,000 people were in attendance. Now,
basically all of Milwaukee was in.
Oh yeah, I saw your mom and dad there. That's how crazy it was. I'm just kidding. Now,
probably shit.
If you saw last week's episode, me and Kyle, we did our first round mock draft, first round mock draft, right? And I decided to do some stats, do some research. We got 25 out of 32 first rounders right. Now, what that means is that out of the 32 people that we predicted to go in the first round, 25 of them actually went. Right? Pretty good, 78%. Daniel Jeremiah, who's considered the greatest mock drafter ever, right? He had 28 out of 32, right? 3 more picks than us.
Suck it, and we're doing this for free.
For free, all right? We got 9 to 5s, all right? This is that man's life. I'm just saying, we might need to change careers. That's all I'm saying. But we're going to be doing this for now. Now, the next that I have is how many predictions we got the team picked right. For example, there's trades that happen, but how many players did we predict they would choose a certain player? How many teams chose a certain player? And we got 5 out of 32 right, which ain't bad. I don't know how much the consensus got.
Hey,
but
it just matters that we got him in the first round.
Exactly. All right. I'm just saying.
I'm not talking to the teams.
I'm just saying we're on our way to become GMs. That's all I'm saying. We're thinking like them, right? That's all I'm saying. Now, enough bragging about our first mock draft ever being, over 75% accurate. Let's talk about some surprises. Now, we could just jump to the obvious one, or we could talk about the small ones.
Come on, man. We're trying to drive views.
Exactly.
I need to have this, man.
All right, Shedeur Sanders. How many quarterbacks were taken before him? 6, I think. You had Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, the guy from Louisville.
Tyler Slaw. Can I say something about that pick?
Talk to him. He's old. You know him and Trevor Lawrence played in college.
Yeah,
at the same time.
Trevor Lawrence been in the NFL for like the past 4 years.
Exactly.
You know what that pick for New Orleans told me? Because I mean, especially before I get in with this Shedeur BS. I mean, we had him going to New Orleans at 9. Like, he wasn't a top 5 pick. But, like I said, like, the earliest he probably come off the board would probably be with New Orleans. But they're going to win with Tyler Slaw, whatever his name is, Spencer Rattler, Derek Carr, and they're going to keep using Taysom Hill for whatever gadget plays they're going to run. That screams they didn't do what I thought they probably should have done, and they just need to go ahead and tear down and start rebuilding and see if you can get more capital out of trading Kamara. But they're going to still run him out there, I guess. That's fine. But you're looking at no more than, 3-4 wins. Y'all are trash. You didn't really address anything. So if a rebuild is going to start, it's going to start after, because he ain't coming out next year. It's going to start in 2027. The New Orleans Saints, with the first pick of the 2027 NFL Draft, selects Arch Manning from the University of Texas. Because Archie is going to bring him home.
Yeah, so 5 QBs picked before Shedeur, and Tyler Shaw. Yeah, I don't know what the thought process was in there. They're after Drew Brees, they just don't know what to do. That's pretty much what this is. But Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Tyler Shaw, Jalen Merrill, Dylan Gabriel, and he wasn't even the Browns' first quarterback pick. Dylan Gabriel was drafted before him. There was a rumor going around that an NFL owner will step in to get Shedeur Sanders, and the Browns pick him as their second QB of the draft, which kind of like backs up that claim, right? And then when they made the pick and showed the draft form of the Browns, no one looked pretty happy. But
I mean, was this sounds like there's only 2 teams in the league that would do some shit like that. The Browns, and can you guess the other one?
The Jets.
3 teams. Can you guess the other one?
No. What's the other one?
Cowboys.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. Jerry Jones wanted Danny Manziel bad, but the Browns got him. Just prove your point. Was this a message being sent by the NFL to these quote QBs that want on this NIL stuff, that are only in it for the content, the fame, the money?
It's not necessarily NIL, but it's the attitude behind it.
Also, want to point that their dad was their agent. I don't know if you saw any clips of Shedeur Sanders. Yeah. He's a pretty funny dude. He was
talking to, yeah. He's saying, I forgot how to rhyme.
He was saying, like, I don't know what's going to happen to me if they're doing this to you.
Yeah, damn, that does to you. What's going to happen to me? And then he even did a rhyme to Deion in another video I saw. I forgot what he said, but if he wasn't fucking around, you messing with them figures, because he got in because he got too involved.
Yeah,
you know,
Shedeur actually got an agent, like shortly after, like day 2.
Yeah,
he ended up. Yeah, he ended up going undrafted, but yeah, he signed to Tampa, and he fits Tampa. He's a hard hitting safety.
I mean, look, Shedeur wasn't even 100% projected to go in the first round. Like, in his body of work at Colorado, your first season, y'all went 4-8, and you losing like the last 7 games on your schedule. I'm still kind of ticked off at that Stanford game. I think hopefully maybe you remember which one I'm talking about. They
Yeah.
completely blew that game away.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I kind of sucked the first year. I get it. The defense is trash. Well, if you're building yourself up to be as good as you are, then a good quarterback overcomes everything. Joe Burrow, for instance, as trash as his defense was, still had the Bengals in position to win 9 times out of 10.
Yep. And had the worst offensive line. They allowed the most. They had the least pass rush rate, meaning that they lost a lot.
And so, like, yeah, I get it. Comparing NFL to college. I'm talking about the quarterback itself. If the quarterback is good enough, he can overcome any obstacle and guide the team where they need to be. And he wasn't fully able to do that at Colorado the first year. The second year was a little bit better. So much so that he did get Heisman votes. We did see some good, promise in him. But as I was just reading, and I had to remind myself, a good portion of his passes, his completions, was screens. He didn't really throw the ball downfield a whole lot. They didn't. And you're going to say, oh, well, the offensive
second
line
round
was
pick.
terrible. So what?
You're talking about Shedeur, right? Throwing a lot of screens?
Yeah.
To the second pick in the whole draft. Yeah. That guy was, yeah.
Okay, and about that guy, which brings me to this point. Because...
Before we move on to him, I want you to talk about the people hating on the NFL.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Because it's related to Travis.
Yeah.
Everyone, and before all that is even said, you want to know what we're not talking about? You want to know what no one has really been talking about? The actual first pick of the fucking draft. Who worked his way up from not having a single offer, not having no one freaking looking at him. Nothing at all. He had to grind his way up from the ground up. Who, let me remind Black America, he's also black. So we're sitting up here saying that, the NFL is racist because Shedeur dropped the way he did and they're sending him a message because they got to keep the black man down. Man, look. Are there instances where the NFL has done some racist shit over the time? Of course. If correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Bobby Bell was the first black middle linebacker to win a Super Bowl for Kansas City.
I believe so, but I believe you're correct on that.
Because they didn't think that black people were smart enough to be the linebacker of the defense. Because obviously you have to have some brains to call out the plays and shit and to call out the coverages. Doug Williams was the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl. That we know.
Yes.
Tony Dungy was the first black head coach to win the Super Bowl, which we had a treat that year because both coaches were black that made it that year.
Yeah, it had to. Surprised it wasn't a draw. No, I'm just joking.
Yes. Even in this league, black people had to overcome some shit. A lot of shit just to prove our worth.
Just like baseball.
Just like in every sport. Just like in everything in this country. What happened to Shedeur had nothing to do with that.
Exactly.
100%. And we cannot sit here and argue that when Cam went first and Travis Hunter's goofy ass went second. Not only did Travis go second, that team traded assets to move up to grab his goofy ass. And we're going to sit here and say that, they holding the black man back. Half the league is black. Half the players that's coming out is black. This had nothing to do with that.
I think Will Campbell and Jackson Dart were only white guys drafted in the first round.
Dude, Shedeur Sanders, the only reason why everyone said he should have went first round was because the media and social media and his brand hyped him up. And yes, having a good season, one good season, hyped him up. And that's what it was. He already wasn't going to be projected to be first round. But not participating in a combine, barely participating, if at all, in a pro day, And then if all reports is true, because there hasn't been anything to refute it yet, you bomb these interviews, of course these teams are going to say they're not going to fuck with you. And then on top of that, they know who your father is. And that's no slight on Dion. But shit, the NFL's probably had it out for him from when he came up.
Exactly.
And then everyone's saying, like, oh, they holding him back from coming up. Man, both of those kids came up in money and had privileges that the average kid that got drafted did not have. Which, by the way, is still less than, 2% of every kid that played college football. He was still getting drafted. It doesn't matter if you go in the first round, second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round, sixth round, or if you're like Tom Brady and Brock Purdy, the very last pick of the draft. Because guess what? You got drafted and you had a chance to make something of yourself, and you did. So all this hate that he got picked up in the fifth round, that's probably where he was going to go in the first place. But I'm like literally sick and tired of hearing all this shit. And I don't care if I'm in a minority of this. I don't care if I get called to Uncle Tom about this.
Sometimes,
like,
you know.
But the problem is that every little setback that happens in and around the black community, the first thing we want to pop up is racism. Half the time that ain't true. I'm a big believer in personal accountability. And everyone has the same chance to make it out the hood. Because if there are countless numbers of black people that made it out the hood and didn't look back. Hell, I'm reading a book right now from 50 Cent about hustling harder. And one of the things that he mentioned on there, and what got Jam Master Jay killed, was that he didn't get out the hood. Get out the hood. Once you get the money, get out. You can get it and get out. Because I'm sorry, there's that crab in a bucket mentality. And then it's so easy to point fingers instead of just picking it up and just doing it. Like, I don't know, man. It's not hard to understand, okay? This was a message, not to just him, but to all these NIL kids that is acting like they are bigger than the system. You're not. The system was here long before you was born. And it's not going to change. That's just what it is.
You're 100% right. I agree with you. With everything you said. This has nothing
to do with race. He did this. He straight up did this to himself.
Exactly. You can't think you're the shit, interview like shit, and expect to be the guy.
If
That's
you think
why
you're the shit, plus you interview like shit, equals you're gonna get shit.
Plus, there's a video circulating, right? Cam Ward and Shedeur trained together for some reason. I don't know why, right?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them.
And it's like Shedeur's like, "Hey, let's make a song together." Cam Ward's basically saying, "I don't got time for a song. I don't want to do that. I want when you look up Cam Ward, I wanted to say American football. That's what I want to say. That's a guy who has his mind straight." Shedeur's just trying to look for what's the next big paycheck, what's the next big, blow up. And I get it.
Man, there was another video I saw. They were talking shit back and forth, and then among the shit talking, they were talking about drinking water, and then Shedeur was like, "I don't drink that shit. I don't drink Gatorade. What pays me?" And then talking about that shit, and Cam was like, "Yeah, whatever. Football pays me." That right there is the reason why he's the number one pick.
Exactly. Once I saw Shedeur, his shit talking was just flashing his watch, and I was like, okay, this guy's not a franchise player.
And I don't want this to come off as and of course the first thing is going to be said is that I'm coming off as I'm hating on him. I don't see how when I literally had him going to the first round to New Orleans. Top
10 pick, yeah.
I never said that he was not talented, but I'm not surprised that he fell because looking at his character, knowing how the NFL is, it was an easy recipe. This league is still owned by 32 old white ass billionaires, and they don't care about that flashy shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I'm not going to add anything more to this. I think we covered all bases for it, and we both agree. But yeah, I think what was done, the slide, they're calling it, was necessary. Was needed. You know. But I want to move on to another surprise that I did not list in our sheet. I just want to talk about Quinn Ewers being the last QB drafted.
Surprised he even
in the
got
draft.
drafted.
Well, you say that right. This man led the SEC while missing a few games in touchdowns. I've never seen no SEC quarterback lead the SEC in touchdowns while missing a few games and get picked last as the QBs. There's 7 of these names I could tell you right now, Kyle, and you've never heard of them.
I mean, he almost lost his job to a freshman QB.
This guy is coming from what we could call it the royal family, if anything.
The royal family with the genes.
Yeah. Which is, Shedeur would have lost his job to this guy.
Everybody would have lost.
Exactly. That's why.
Lost their job.
So to be able to battle that, knowing that's on your mind, and still go perform how you did, that takes some.
And look, Quinn, he won some big games. He won
did.
Some huge games.
Beat Bama, right? Bama was the
beat
best.
Michigan.
Exactly. Highly ranked.
Almost
Michigan.
beat Georgia.
Lost to them twice. Two chances.
I was being nice. I said almost beat Georgia. I was trying to be nice. I'm not nice to UT people.
No, but they're acting like he didn't. What elite talent he had? Matthew Golden's a first-round receiver. He's not better than the first-round receivers last year. He's not better than Malik Neighbors, Brian Thompson Jr., Marvin Harrison Jr. Matthew Golden ran in a 4.29, help him get to that first-round talent. Isaiah Bond, who came from Alabama, didn't even get drafted.
How does Ohio State keep churning them out? These receivers.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Quarterbacks too. Not recently. But Shroud, Dwayne Haskins.
Still has picked up Will Howard?
Yes. Yeah, in the 6th round. But no, that was surprising to me. The SEC leading. Now, he did lead interceptions too, I get that. Whatever. But
going against SEC defenses.
Exactly. This was a heavy defensive line draft. Right, but I don't know. Just was interesting.
And the Falcons said, we are going D-line in the first round, so help us God.
2 times. Jalen Walker, I love Jalen Walker. I wish, if the Patriots didn't get who I'm going to talk about next, I would want them to get Jalen Walker. But me being a Pats fan, they had the 4th pick. They drafted the first offensive lineman, Will Campbell. And played in SEC all 3 years, started when he was 18 years old. Only allowed 4 sacks and over 2,500 snaps in the SEC. Right? Yes, he's short arms. Yes, sometimes he loses to guys with long arms that are speed. But still only allowing 4 sacks in 3 years? That's special. Now, if you didn't love watching him play, then you were going to love him after you saw his interview. Right? Went up there, got his name called, was interviewing him, and just had a moment to himself. He was just looked down, shed some tears, and just says, I worked so hard to get here. Right?
And that's why I felt that.
Just how it was just him having his
he was reflecting
exactly
on every, because I guarantee you before he got to LSU he probably was not, maybe he was, but for you to have a moment like that, you wasn't always at the top. You had to work your way up. That was pure raw emotion that he was showing, and he was remembering all them hard ass practices, all the weight sessions where he had to get his body into shape. He had to stay consistent, and the work that he had to keep putting in to hold a record like that in the SEC.
One of the most decorated offensive linemen in history.
Like that.
Only paid 3 years too.
That's the kind of emotion you see when they come into the league, where they should become Hall of Famers. like straight up loyal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're not doing it fully for the money.
Exactly. The ceiling for this guy is Hall of Fame. Like that's his.
I mean,
that's his ceiling.
believe it or not, people, there are some guys that play football and they actually just fucking love the sport,
and then like
care about the money.
The floor or worst case scenario is that he moves to guard and he's Logan Mackins. Like, come on. Like, I'll take that up for it any day.
Guard. I mean,
exactly.
I heard his name enough on those New England teams for many years.
And you know what my favorite thing about that was that the next question was the reporter asked him, are you ready to block for Drake May? Are you ready to protect Drake May? And he said, "I'm ready to fight and die."
He wanted to say, I will fucking die for that man.
He said, "I will fight and die to protect him." That's the type. That's the guy. I already know, Kyle. That's the guy that if someone hits Drake May a little too hard, he's gonna come and slam you.
Watch, dude. There are not gonna be any. There won't be any late hit penalties on Drake May this season. No. There will be one. There will probably one or two, and then that's it.
And that person we made an example of. I'm so excited.
That's good. That's what you want in your old lineman, though, man. That's what you want.
Of course, you want a guy that's gonna protect the quarterback, and then if you see some guy hit him late, that you're gonna go blast him. That's what I love. I love that type of mentality. Exactly. I love Trevor Williams. Logan Mackins did that for Brady too. But just guys like that, love him. Absolutely love him.
All right. Well, I want to move on to our last points. Did you see Mel Kiper's Meltdown?
I was watching mostly the draft. No, I mainly watched the draft on NFL Network. I really like Daniel Jeremiah. I was gonna watch it on ESPN because I like Field Yates. Mel Kiper's kind of like an old head to me now. He's like the Walmart version of Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, exactly. He's the Walmart version of Stephen A.
The dollar store version of Stephen A. Smith. At least Stephen A. can have some truth in some of the shit that he says.
Exactly.
He embellishes a lot, but he ain't no bullshit.
So, what was the meltdown about? Because I didn't see it.
Mel
Kiper had him as his number one QB. Yeah, Mel Kiper had Shedeur as his number one QB.
Talking about the NFL kept getting it wrong for 50 years. If that was the case, then wouldn't you have been hired by some office to work as a draft scout for
like Mike Mayock did?
Yes. Like went from NFL Network to working with the Raiders. Come on.
There's a reason why they call Daniel Jeremiah the best mock drafter. He was a former scout for the Ravens.
I mean, like Mel Kiper, you're no different than us. You've just been doing it longer, and you talk loud enough where you've been on ESPN long enough where they just literally just throw you on set just because you've been there long. You have seniority. But I can't really remember a time where he was really right. It's
like the saying goes: even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Or a blind squirrel finds a nut.
That one too. Don't get me wrong. I love looking at his mock drafts. But I'm more of a Field Yates guy.
I use Mel Kiper when he puts out like his mock drafts. I use that as brainstorming before I look at the other mock drafts.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, there's not one single person that I look at. No, I look at all the mock drafts. And if I'm right, he's been over Fox, CBS.
Someone just got laid the fuck out in this Florida Tampa game. Dude. Oh, he's wiping his eye. Oh, is there blood coming out?
Oh, gosh. It's getting gory.
Shh. Ooh. Man, I'm waiting for this replay. I want to react to it live. This replay need to come on. Oh, he's definitely checking his eye. Okay, here we go. What happened? What happened to it? Oh, he got the stick stuck in his face mask. Oh, shit. So, he was right next to the dude from Tampa when he swung his stick, and when he shot it back, kind of like the after swing in baseball. Like his stick got up. Yeah, that's a penalty for high sticking. It literally got up inside of his face mask, and it got stuck in the dude's helmet.
Damn. Today's the day I just found out about high sticking.
Yeah. Obviously, you can't like
use it as a weapon.
Yeah, well, that of course, but you can't hit a dude across the chest and above. If you're like at any point when you're like swinging your stick or whatever. No, pause. But yeah, so Florida. Oh shit, it's a 4-on-4 power play. So Tampa was already. So Florida was already in the penalty.
Yeah.
So it was
anyway,
2 seconds. Anyways, yeah,
we're at that hour mark. Let's move on to our last bullet point. So, the Bills GM went at the public journalist.
Yeah, went after live on radio too. It's free to Google. We'll just just give our little 2 cents to it because it kind of plays into what we do. I mean, it's like. Difference is, of course, like I said, we joke about it, but it's true. I mean, obviously, accuracy increases with currency. So, it's not that we're not going to bullshit through this because we want to be right in what we do and we want to be honest in our opinions, but we don't want to keep beating a dead horse, with the same stick, right? Or however that saying goes. And, the moral of the story, what happened was with them was that, they're kind of complaining over, the radio host apparently was complaining over, the Bills. And think about it, Buffalo, they ain't, what the fuck else is there up there? It's just that and a terrible hockey team.
Snow.
That too. So, the main talking point was for them was that they keep needing to get receivers. They need receivers. And it's like,
which is true.
Which is true in a way, but it's y'all's inability to stop Pat Mahomes when it counts.
This is also true. Yes, agreed.
So
I think they went DT in the first round, which I mean, no. They went cornerback. They went to cornerback. They ran like a 4-2 something.
I just know they went defense, and Florida just tied the game. It's 2-2 Florida Tampa.
Here I'm reading a CBS article right here. It says. Bean says bitching 4 times in 66 seconds.
Yep. Because that's what they were doing. You guys are bitching about the same old problems.
Yeah.
That's getting solved.
Stick to jumping through tables, Bills fan, all right?
Because, what he pointed out was that they were the highest scoring offense this past season, which
they're one of the highest, yeah. Yeah, there were 2.
That is true.
Right behind the Lions.
So it's like, okay, so clearly putting up points isn't the issue. It's stopping people. Half your defense was on the shelf by the time y'all got into the playoffs. I mean, shit, you barely. The only reason why you even made it even into the championship was because Mark Andrews had bricks for hands. So, let's just
be real.
Remind you, where the real problem lies. So it was just funny, just hearing, an actual GM, lay into the radio host because
I'm just saying, shut the hell up.
Basically, yeah, and let me do my damn job, and y'all just talk about and gossip or whatever. And it's like, hey, I kind of just
that is frustrating when you're always in playoffs and reporters are crying.
Well, that is also when you lose to the same guy.
Sure, I get that. But then when those idiots are saying draft offense, when it's like you're trying to draft against the guy that's beating you, it's like, what the hell are you talking about? Exactly. It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
So, yeah. That was pretty funny. Oh, one more thing. Yeah, let's downplay this prank call. I mean, look, NFL, if y'all want to put a stop to it, get a call center, okay?
Yeah,
but
come on.
You're leaving, but these... you're leaving these hotlines or whatever. They're loose with these coordinators and these scouts or whoever. Anyone could have done it, and that was a fake ass apology. That kid knew what the hell he was.
Yeah, that was
funny as shit. I saw the reel.
Yeah, I saw it too. Yeah, he definitely asked Chat GPT to come up with a sincere apology. That's for
man,
sure.
These kids. Chat GPT is the brains of all these kids now.
I know, it's sad.
Anymore.
It's sad
Anymore. So, but yeah,
like I mean, it's
a
a prank, dude. Yes, it was a call.
And it wasn't just to him. There's been other players getting prank called, and I'm not actually surprised that this happens.
Baker Mayfield got pranked by his own friend one time. You know?
Did you see the video of these dudes, these college kids? They prank called their
the Aggies bullpen.
Yes, and they actually got the picture up.
Yeah,
bored kids are going to prank call.
Yeah.
Stupid kids are going to actually record and document themselves doing it, and that's what this kid was. He was stupid. And
it wasn't like he was saying like, "Oh yeah, we're going to draft you here." I mean, I think maybe he did say that, but then he said like, "Okay, you have to wait a little bit longer."
That was kind of funny. Though.
And it's like I kind of cringed when Shedeur said like, "Let's be legendary," and it's like, okay, then there you go, trying to promote your stupid brand.
Okay. You know what I feel now, and we'll end it on this, and this will be the good mic drop. When you say, when Shedeur says, let's get legendary, or whatever the fuck he says, you want to know what I'm thinking now when I hear that?
What?
Broncos country, let's ride.
Oh my God. I'm going to see y'all later.